H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys supports 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus. One-time pay, lifetime access to live classes and videos. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For free demo class, visit h2kinfosys.com.
Won't the relationship change or it won't?
No, it will not change any relation there. See, it is not something like you remove the relation and you keep it as it is. So for that moment, you have to change. You have to remove the relation and change the column name. Immediately, you create the foreign key again. So it will be again, the relation will be intact again. Okay, but anyway, that these things will be taken care by developers. So only thing which you should keep in mind is how to verify, how to validate this. Even I don't think you will be required to write alter queries or alter statements and all. Okay, even till now, as I said, I only changed for name from varchar 20 to varchar 25. Okay, so now, okay, two more things we have. I don't want to add more confusion to this. So we have two more system things which you have to remember. So the three things which we already discussed is sys.objects, sys.columns and sys.types. Now I'll ask a question to all of you. How can I see what are all the columns I have in my if I want to see the description, whether I have an identity column, or how can I see that? For example, I want to see in products table, I want to see the details of product table, what columns I have, what identities we have, or everything about this product table. So one is sys.columns, that will show me the list of columns, but I want to see the details of this. So if I want to see that, in Oracle we have something called DESC. So in Oracle we have something called DESC space table name, like products. But here in SQL Server we don't have DESC products. Instead we need to write sp_help. Yeah, Sujata, you're right, sp_help. So remember this. When you type sp_help, that will give you the details of a table. So I'm writing here sp_help and I'm giving products table. So if I execute this, I can see all the details about that table. See here, I have what are all the columns I have? I have 3 columns. Okay, and then I have this products table and no identity column. Okay, and I have a primary key which is product ID. We are going to discuss on what are indexes and all in next class. Anyway, let's not worry about that for now. So we have primary key and we have foreign key also. Okay, so these are all the details it is showing us. Okay, and that is referred by orders. So if you see here at the bottom, this table is referred by foreign key and the table name is. Now is it clear? Yeah, we will see how to write test case as well in the next class. Okay, so before that I wanted to show this, because once we start writing test cases, you should be clear on how to approach it, how to approach to test. So we're done with all the development aspects, and the only thing which I missed here is how to validate the tables. I mean, how to verify which tables, which columns we have, how to verify the link between columns and tables. Okay, so what are the system tables which testers can use? So these things I am covering now, but tomorrow onwards we'll continuously focus on testing stored procedures, testing applications, how to perform database testing, so all those things. So we will see from next class. Okay, so now, so is it clear now? sp_help. So sp_help is used for retrieving the details about tables. And we have one more thing, something called sp_help text. So this is for seeing the data which is present in a view or in a stored procedure. Okay, so this is for tables. sp underscore help is only for tables, and sp underscore help text. For example, we have a stored procedure called get employee by id. So if I want to see what is there inside the stored procedure, I need to type like this: sp underscore help text followed by the sp name. So if I execute this, I can okay, let me remove this dbo dot. And then let me execute it. See, now I am seeing this description. Even in Toad also, I think this will be the same. I have never used Toad, but in the Toad also, since the database is, since it depends on database, so in Toad also, Toad is something like an user interface for databases. So you can use Toad for multiple databases. So you can use for Oracle, or you can use for SQL Server. So this syntax it belongs to SQL Server, so ideally it should work. So I want to tell the difference here between sp underscore help and sp underscore help text. sp underscore help is used for tables, and sp underscore help text is used for stored procedures and views. Okay, so if I have views also, for example, if I have views like h underscore it, so I can simply write here h underscore it. Now if I execute this, I can see that this view is having this query. So we have something called select star from employee where department equal to this, like this. Okay, so now anyone wants to summarize here what are the three tables? And so we learned about sys.objects, we learned about sys.columns, we learned about sys.types, and then we also learned about sp underscore help, and the last thing we learned about sp underscore help text. Okay, so these are the 5 things, and the last one which we have is how do we execute a stored procedure? I told this in the class. How do we execute a stored procedure? For example, I have a stored procedure here, get employee by id. So how do I execute a stored procedure? So yeah, we have exec. Yeah, so we need to give exec space followed by this get employee by id followed by I need to give the id. So if I give 1 or 2, I can execute this. Okay, see now, so this is how you execute a stored procedure. Okay, exec space get employee id space, you need to pass the employee id, you need to pass the parameter, and if you can just execute it. Okay, so there is other way also to execute. One other thing is sp underscore execute. See now, let me execute this. Execute SQL. Okay, so it is not working. Anyway, exec should be fine. So okay, so now let me quickly summarize on what we learned today, and then I will cover 2 more things. Windows are Notepad. Okay, so we learned about sys.types where we'll have all the data types. We learned about sys.objects where we'll have all the objects. Can someone tell me any 3 things which we can see inside these objects? What all we can see inside this? Sys.objects. Yeah, go ahead. Tables. What else?
View.
Okay.
Columns.
No. Do you think sys.objects will have columns?
No. Table, view, and what else? 3 things you were telling.
Yeah, any 3. Perfect. Procedures, what else? Yeah, procedures, what else?
Functions.
Perfect. Functions. What else? I'll tell you why I'm collecting the list. Anyone else want to add something here? You can unmute yourself and add to the list. Because the moment you tell like database is all about your objects. The reason why they have not included columns in this is columns belongs to tables. So it is not like columns or objects. Columns belongs to tables. So they have included separate table for columns. Okay, so let's run this. Let me show you how we can see how to see what are all we have. This someone should tell me how I can see what are all the types we have in sys.objects. Tell me the query, anyone? Yeah, Nirav, go ahead.
Select distinct type underscore DESC from sys.object.
Select distinct
Space type underscore DESC
distinct type underscore DESC from
sys.object.
Yeah, thank you, Sujata. Yeah, let me execute this. Select distinct type underscore disk from system.objects. So let me execute this. Yeah. So now you can understand what are all the things we have. We have check constraint. All of you know about check constraint. I am sure all of you know it. In the first class we learned about check constraint. Foreign key constraint, you know, internal table. Anyway, keep this internal table aside. It is something like system table. Primary key constraint, all of you know about it. And service queue. Okay, so we have SQL table valued function, scalar valued function. We have stored procedure. We have system tables, we have unique constraint, and we have user table, and we have views. So these are all the things that will be there inside this, inside your sys.objects. Okay. Now, okay. Let me ask some questions before we wind up. Like, we are done with all the development aspects of the course. So anyone wants to tell what is a check constraint?
A check constant is something like if we put the age should be more than 25.
Yeah.
So we can less than 25. It should be more than 25. So while we are going to insert a value, it will check if it is more than 25.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah, Anya is right. So check constraint is like when you are creating a table, for that column we will have check constraint. So when you try to insert some column, some data which you don't want it will throw error. Okay, used to restrict the data. So that is check constraint. And anyway, foreign key constraint, I don't need to explain it, because we already saw that we will have references, and in there we'll write it. And internal table is system table, or both are related. So anyway, so our focus should be on user table, view, and SQL stored procedure. So normally in our office, right, we don't use this much big. For example, if I want to check stored procedure, I don't use sys.type description equal to stored procedure. So instead we have short form for it. For example, we have something called type. See, I will show you one more thing. So if you just put type here, so you will see now we have like this. C for check constraint, we have P for procedure. So this we will use. So what we will do, right, in so select star from sys.objects, where I will write here type is equal to, where type is equal to P. In single quotes we will just write P instead of typing completely like